Hey, this is Russell from Band of Skulls.
Hey, this is Emma from Band of Skulls.
And you're listening to
The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Scott Wood.
Did you bag the hand and feature? Do you feel the need to talk about it? Now you're fighting for your corner, saying that you ought to laugh about it. You should get a little braver, do us all a favor, shout about it. Sweet sour, sweet sour, sweet sour. Pick up your stitches, better than your riches, think about it. You've been through, you don't really need to talk about it. It's just a little karma, trying to disarm you, shout about it. Sweet sour, sweet sour, sweet sour, sweet sour, sweet sour, sweet sour. Sour by the minute, but you're sweeter by the hour. But you're sweeter by the hour.
Welcome to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. Today I'm sitting here with two members of Band of Skulls at the Commodore Ballroom as they set up. I would love it if you guys could introduce yourselves.
Hey, my name's Emma.
And I'm Russell.
Hey guys, thanks for sitting down with me. So let's start with an easy one. Band of Skulls. Where'd the name come from?
We made a record. We've been a band for a little bit longer than this setup, and we made a new record, which turned out to be our first album. And we realised we didn't have a name really, and we decided to sort of rechristen ourselves. And it was all very exciting and frustrating for a week when we had to come up with something with a deadline. So that was it, and we just were happy to come up with one, and then we just carried on.
All right, this is Scott Wood. I'm the host of The Interview Show. You just heard Sweet Sour, the title track off Band of Skulls' new record. I've got two of the members of the band with me. I would love it if you guys could talk a little bit about that track.
Sweet Sour, we had the main riff for this for a while, but didn't really know how we were going to use it or where it was going to go. So I think I remember jamming it out live when we first started writing after touring for a couple of years, and it just seemed to kind of fall into place after a while. We tried a few things, but we knew it was going to lead the album, and it's now leading the set live as well. So.
Yeah, it was it had a long gestation period. I think the actual idea was we had it on the first record, and it was just there on the demo reel, like this unloved thing. So it always was on the cards to be something, and it ended up being the song which defined all the heavier parts of this new record, and we always reference what we were doing on this one. And it was the first song to come out in North America and Canada, I think. And it's rock and roll. It's kind of heavy rock and roll, which is something that we all have a love for. So it was nice to do. It's very free and exciting to play.
I read this great quote of yours where you talked about judging venues and playing your soft set for certain types of venues and harder songs for harder venues. Can you expand on that a little bit now that we're in the Commodore Ballroom?
Well, yeah, we look around and like this place has got a nice Art Deco ballroom, wooden floor. So us nerds of music would be like, well, the snares are going to sound great, kicking off of that and hitting
on the vocals going to work.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I like to hear my vocals off the mirror behind the bar at the back. So that kind of stuff really, and just a vibe. But like we'll tailor that as we go, and even during the set, if the venue's really sounding beautiful, we can really play very quietly sometimes in songs, and just if we feel like it. And the best thing about being an old-fashioned band and not being tied up to any click tracks or backing tracks is if we fancy playing it differently during the song, we just do, and it's exciting for us. And until
keeps it free live, definitely. We have to change it every night.
Can you talk about a venue that you particularly love or particularly don't like to play at?
Most venues are pretty cool to play at because you're playing live.
You know what I'm saying, but the way the room is built.
Anything with a bit of history. We just did our biggest theatres in general.
I'd agree on
older places. We just did our biggest show in London at the Roundhouse in Camden. So that building was used to turn around steam trains. So it's round and it's just weird. And it's got these big steel pillars and iron pillars rather. And just knowing that you're playing music in this building that's been there for a long time, you sort of add yourself to the history, the fabric of it, and it's nice feeling actually. Hey, this is Russell from Band of Skulls, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Take this ride and this road. One and all. I wish that I could give you more. Gonna have to break the law. I've got more to give than I first thought to give. We'll have to make a pact or something like that. Sometimes
You're listening to The Interview Show. This is Scott Wood, your host. You've just heard Bruises by the Band of Skulls. I've got two of the members of the band here with me, and I would love it if you guys could tell me a little bit about that song.
It's me. I'm being nodded towards. Yeah, this song was one of the last ones we got finished for the record, and it reminds me of finishing the album. And we're up in Wales at Rockfield, famous Rockfield Studios, and it was the chorus that we did last, and it was just this sort of, it just came very naturally, and it felt like a little celebration. It felt like punching the air at the end of the what had been quite a sort of emotional roller coaster of making a record. So it was definitely the celebration moment. I think we did the chorus of this song, and then the record was finished. So it was that moment. So it takes me back to that.
Great, thanks. I read that Matt is following in his dad's footsteps, and he's a musician, and he actually emails you guys after shows with critiques. So I was wondering if you could tell me the last one you guys got.
I think he emails Matt, really, and I think if a point is relevant for us, he forwards it on. But yeah, no, we've always been well trained and well rehearsed, and having people like Matt's dad around always helped us. I think he stopped us doing gigs when we were a lot younger until we were overly ready. So our first gig was like the most rehearsed school band in southern England.
So when he stopped you guys and said, hey, you're not ready yet, how did that conversation go?
I don't think you're ready yet. Okay, John.
Don't
yeah.
do it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We were very polite young people, you see. Thanks for we were rehearsed in their front room of their house. So basically, he called the shots. So we were happy to take his advice, just to have somewhere to play.
That's so nice. I was expecting maybe a bit of Teenage Rebellion.
No, that came a little bit later on, actually. Can't go into it.
Fair enough. I'm geeking out right now because you are wearing the sunglasses. That is so awesome. How come, Emma, you aren't wearing your sunglasses?
Because I'm inside. I don't believe in sunglasses inside unless it's really bright. But that's my personal thing. So I just can't see.
I just woke up and I look terrible. Well, you'll never know, but I think I do.
I think you look quite handsome.
Thank you very much.
All right, I would love it if you guys could tell me, well, I'll come at it this way. So Russell and Matt, you guys were in a band, you were a duo, you met Emma in art school. Can you talk about how you guys met?
It's quite weird. Emma was asleep, and I think I woke her up. It was one of those things where there's not much going on. It's really quite a boring thing, and it was like, all right, what are you doing? Like, do you like music? I think we were waiting for the bus or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was like, we were auditioning lots of musicians at the time, me and Matt trying to perform a band, and Emma said she played guitar in a band and wrote songs and sang, and I was like, that's all the things we need. And Matt's family were very impressed with a young woman coming around rather than another like hairy, greasy rocker sort of cluttering up the kitchen. So I think it was all good.
It was, yes.
It was.
Come on, if somebody approaches you at a bus stop and says, hey, do you want to join a band? Not everybody's going to be like, yeah, I'm all in.
No, I think I'd met him before and seen him around college maybe, but I was literally waiting for a bus, passed out, sleeping in the canteen and talking about music. You know, you don't really think much of it when you're at college and you start up a conversation. It's like, oh, you're in a band, you know, cool. And you talk about it. So
Little did you know.
Little did I know I'd be here now.
So how'd these guys convince you to make a go of it?
They didn't. They just sort of said, oh, we've got a gig in 2 weeks. Here's a bass guitar. Fancy, joining the band. If you like it, play it. Basically.
Emma, you could pick one song and talk about it.
I think I'll pick Navigate to talk about because that track, it's had so many different structures and we finally made it work towards the end of the session, and I'm really proud of how it's come out, and everyone had their part in making it happen. So it turned out to be a kind of big, epic, beautiful beast. So, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna listen to Navigate by Band of Skulls.
Everybody's back in town. Give me the armor and let me prepare. It can be easy or difficult to steer. The heart and breath stops, death cheats death. It's clear, time and tide wait for no glimpse of how you were at 5. Ain't it strange how these things take you by surprise? We are drifting on a deep sea, and I can't navigate the stars like my father. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. If we're scared, it puts us under. Talk, the less you mean. You told me that when I was just 17. When it sinks in, you will not always be here. Funny how all your small worries disappear. We are drifting on the deep sea, and I can't navigate the stars like my father. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. If we're scared, it puts us under. If you're thinking what you know is true, then tell them, let them notice. And if your time comes, ask the question, were you tender to those you hold dear? We are drifting on a deep sea, and I can't navigate the stars like my father. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water. Oh, we're drifting out to sea, into deep water.
Hey, this is Emma from Band of Skulls, and you're listening to The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
All right, this is Scott Wood. I'm the host of The Interview Show. So Sweet and Sour is the name of your second record. I read that you didn't want to make this record about touring, and instead you veered in a different direction.
Yeah, it's sort of about touring, actually. Yeah, no, I mean, it's loaded. It's our second album, and there are many pitfalls to sort of fall into, and we wanted to make a record that we were proud of, and I think we did in the end. And and the proof's in the pudding that the fact now we're playing it out live and it feels very natural, and the songs seem to go into the set, then they fit with the other record, don't they? So we're really happy, and now it's just about what we can do next, really. I think we've got over that hump.
I ask because I've also read other quotes from you guys where you're talking about writing beefier songs for bigger stages. So how does someone write a beefier song?
Well, we doubled up all the amplifiers. We got a bigger drum kit. It sounds kind of dumb, but that's how we started. And it's more extreme, really. I think, like, now and again, it's like, how loud have we played before, and how heavy has it got before, and how far can we push it? And we've tried to do that as much as possible this time around. Yeah, so it was good. I think just the natural thing of playing in bigger venues. We were across the road at the venue itself a couple of years ago, and stuff like that. We probably sound checked a lot of these songs on that stage, and now they're sort of ready to go and across the road here in the Commodore. So it's very nice. And
okay, so now you're in the Commodore, and you're faced with perhaps next time you come back to Vancouver in an even bigger venue. So what do you guys do?
Panic.
Make it louder.
Yeah, I guess we'll see that when we get there. But yeah, it's been a definite step up, this whole North America and Canadian tour, and it'd be exciting to see how this experience influences us, because to where we got to at this point has been what we've done in the past. So this will be an added experience, and we'll see what comes out of it. I guess, I don't know. You guys are on your second record. It's called Sweet Sour. And the second record is sometimes hard for a band. Oh, it's true. It's it's especially hard if the first one's gone down well. I think you set a bar for yourself, and then you start analysing yourself and thinking, well, let's not do it wrong. And we had a few weeks of intense sort of sessions and trying to find out what we wanted to do, but in the end, it was all part and parcel of the experience of this record, and it's kind of got two sides to it, as the title suggests. And, it wasn't all roses, but I think that was what made it interesting. I think if it was all lovey-dovey, it would have been boring.
If it was easy, you just got to start worrying. If it's easy to write a song and finish it, sometimes there's got to be something wrong.
You're such a pessimist. There has to be something wrong. No, but yeah.
All right, I was reading about your first record. You were talking about that one you had a little bit of an advantage because you were writing it for yourself. So if you're going to compare your first record and writing the second record, how would you guys contrast the two?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, is like that. It's writing with the responsibility of people interested to hear what you come up with, and which was no one on the first record until we went out and started playing shows. And this time, I felt like a little bit more like that. It was more writing, in a less selfish way, I'd say that. A less sort of intimate way, just sort of thinking a bit about the bigger picture, really.
Emma, I'd love it if you could weigh in on that too.
Yeah, I think you go through, there's different influences. You've had a bit more experience of life, and especially touring, you see a bit more of the world, and things happen to you in life which you have to take as inspiration whenever it comes. So it was a more personal record for me this time, but it's thinking about what's happened to you and then what you're going to be doing, and playing those songs live was definitely in all of our minds, I think. So
we're always a contradiction, so we always have different experiences with these things.
You guys are a nice contradiction.
Well, thanks very much.
All right, guys, I really appreciate you sitting down and speaking with me today. I would love it if you guys could pick one song off your repertoire and talk a little bit about it as I bring up the music.
We should probably do The Devil Takes Care of His Own, as that's coming out soon, I think, over here. And that was the song that it was a bridge between the two records. It had a lot of the sort of simple sounds of the first album, but had a lot of complex writing involved to make it happen, which puts it into the realm of this record. And I really feel like it's the song which glues the two bits of work together.
I agree.
All right. The Devil Takes Care of His Own by Band of Skulls. Thanks for your time, guys.
Hey, this is Russell from Band of Skulls.
Hey, this is Emma from Band of Skulls.
And you're listening to
The Interview Show with Scott Wood.
Scott Wood.
If you flip the rug, then you reveal an ugly sea. But the strength of 10,000 weaker me, which is like a razor blade. You carve me half and half. Oh, I better wait to kill the time. Didn't you read it in the detail? That if you're idle then you're welfare. Now you want to know an answer. But if you dance then you're a dancer. The devil takes care of his own. There's evil at the root. Cruel or kind, it's on your mind. Go on and give the dice a roll. Never did believe in saying fortunes are foretold. Easy come and easy they will go. Didn't you read it in the detail? That if you're idle then you're welfare. Now you wanna know an answer. But if you dance then you're a dancer. Didn't you read about it? Oh. The devil takes care of his own. Takes care of his own.